Hello everyone, Flying Dutchie here and welcome back to part 4 of our beginner tutorial of EU4. I hope you're still with me, because it's a lot of information. But yeah, we are finally starting to play the game. And I think we're going to play a bit more right now. Before we go to our first thing we're going to learn today, which is the papacy. And how the papacy works. But that is for later in this episode. Let's first unpause the game and play a bit more. We are trying to get more money, because we want to build more troops. And we also are waiting for our manpower to be higher. Because we want... Oh, let's pause the game, because we have a pop-up. And we need manpower for our missions to be completed. And that's our first goal. We want a mission to conquer this country. Now let's see, what is this? Portugal wants also a royal marriage. Well, they are alliance already, so we should definitely take this royal marriage. We get another chance of new air bonus and improved relation bonus. So, yes, Portugal, I will accept your offer. And when I right-click on my country, you can see that we now have 2 out of 4 relations, and you can see that the royal marriage is not separated from a diplomatic relation. It goes per country, so if we get military access with Aragon and do other things with Aragon, these will list it for 1 relation slot. So if you have an alliance with a nation, you also want to marry them, you want other things to do in your diplomacy tab as well, because it doesn't cost you any diplo relations. Now we can get 2 more relations if you want to. We do have some decent allies against France. But maybe we can find another. Alliance. Now, we know that France is strong. When we right-click on France, well, they only have 17 soldiers right now. We have 24. When I right-click on my nation, I can see our armies, and this is the French army. But they will build up their armies. I'm sure about it. And that's not the only thing. You can see a lot of information in the French diplomatic relations tab. We don't have that much stuff here, but France does. And you can see that they have 1 alliance, but they have 5 vassals. So all these vassals will fight for France, and they all have their own armies. And later on, France will integrate those vassals, and then France will become one big blue blob over here. And that's why France is very, very strong. Now, the other rival that France has is Venice. So I guess that we could get an easy alliance with Venice? No. They have a negative opinion. Because Aragon is Venice's rival, and Aragon is my ally, so Venice doesn't like that. So we cannot get an alliance with Venice. Who are my other rivals? Let's right-click on my nation again. Oh yeah, England. And Morocco. So England, what are your rivals? Burgundy. Now that is interesting. Burgundy can be a good alliance against France. Maybe you remember Burgundy owns these lands, but also all of this, because these are their vassals, or their personal unions. So let's right-click on Burgundy. Oh no, they are my rival. You can see that here with the sword. So they rivaled us, but I didn't rival them, so... But they will hate me because they made me their rival, so we will not be able to get an alliance with Burgundy. Can we get an alliance against Morocco with someone? Now, for example, Tunis is an enemy of Morocco. Can I get an alliance with Tunis? No, because they hate Portugal, and Portugal is my ally. So, and that makes it really hard to see who you can ally in the game. Let me check real quick if it's possible in a DLC-free game, if I can see the relations tab here. No, so don't be bothered by that. There is a DLC where you have a relations tab here, and you can see who you can ally at one glance. I don't think there's a map mode for it, but I'm not sure. But yeah, at this point, I think we have to stay with our 2 allies for now. I also know that Austria is a strong nation. Can we get an alliance with you? Now, there is a chance. You know what? Let's improve relations with Austria. and see if we can get our opinion high enough to get an alliance with Austria. Austria is also a strong nation, and they are emperor of the Holy Roman Empire, which I will explain later in the game, because it's too complicated to go over that and have all this information at once, so we're not going to go over it. But he is pretty strong because he's the Holy Roman Emperor right now, and maybe we can get an alliance with him. So, we have all our diplomats doing something. Yeah, our fleet, our light ships are protecting trade. You can see it with this symbol, by the way. So I think I'm gonna just let the game run again. Couple of months, and let's go to speed 3. It's the double speed of speed 2. You can see it over here. And let's wait 1 or 2 months again. Make a bit more money. We make 8.9. This number is also changing all the time because more people are getting their boats ready to trade in our home node. Like Portugal is also using their light ships to protect trade, and they get a higher share of this trade node because they are also in this node. Okay, let's wait 1 more month here. Now, we also get pop-ups from other nations, like Crimea declared war on Circassia. Well, that's really nice to know, but we don't really need that information, I think. Crimea is over here. So this nation declared war on Circassia, this nation. There is another thing you can do at the start of the game. These are forts. And we will talk about forts when we go to war with Granada. But forts may have a high upkeep cost. If you hover over your income, you can see fort maintenance is -2. It's at the lowest part of this tab here. And you can mothball forts. So if you go to your country overview and the military tab, then there is a button over here to mothball your forts. We have 2 of our 2 forts active. You can activate all the forts. You can mothball all the forts. So let's mothball the forts. You now have 0 out of 2 maintenance. You can see that they become red on your map. Now the other one does not get red because it's our capital fort. We have a fort in Toledo and we have a fort in Burgos. Now I would always let this on. When you go to war, your forts will be automatically maintained. Otherwise, when you have not your fort maintenance, the army can siege this within a month or something. Otherwise, the enemy needs to siege the fort for a longer time, and that's what you want to have, so just keep this enabled. Now we have a bit of money, and the goal was to get to our force limit, so we want a bit more troops. Now let's go to... Can I do it in the production interface? Yes, let's start talking about the production interface as well. I showed you how you can build troops in the province overview. When you click on the province, you go over here and recruit a regiment. And you click this button. Now let's see what happens to our army force limit. We are now at 24 out of 33. There we go. We are building one. It is ready on the 18th of May, which is in 2 months. It costs us 1,000 manpower. And we go to 25 out of our 33 force limit. Now this is one way you can build troops. But then you need to click on every province and click another troop. Another province. Click another troop. That's a way you can do it. But you can also use the production interface. And then the land units. And then you click on the infantry or cavalry. But cavalry is expensive. So I will just build more infantry. And then you can click on the map here. And that is an easier way to do it. So, look, I can click over here and build a couple more. Now, we're out of money again. So I will unpause the game until we have 40 ducats, 40 gold, or however you want to call it. And then we go to 33, because that is our force limit. And you don't need to know how force limit is calculated, but the more land you have, the higher your force limit. That's the only thing you need to know for now. I will remove this window. Brandenburg declared war, which is a nation in the north of Germany. So, what we wanted to do with Navarra is to vassalize him, right? So apparently they are allied with England. And I can send an alliance, but I don't have a diplomat available. All my diplomats are busy working. So I'm gonna go and right-click on my diplomat here in this list. Right-click, and I'm gonna cancel the improve relations modifier. The points that I got, 23, in these couple of months, will not go away. They will stay when you get your diplomat back home. Another way to stop your diplomat doing something is click on the nation and stop and make him stop in the diplomacy screen of your target nation. But this is easier. Use the outliner, right-click on the diplomat you want to stop doing his work, and then click on OK. Now it takes 3 days to return, so let's wait until the 12th of May. There we go. And he's free again. So now we can use it, and now we can get our alliance. Let's get the alliance. You can see that it's giving 50 boost to relations. Together with the 23. That's really nice. Now, I also want a royal marriage with them. They are a kingdom, so we can marry them. And the royal marriage option is in the dynastic actions tab here. You can claim a throne, we don't go over that right now, but you can also get a marriage over here, and we want to do this. But we have to wait 1 month, because the diplomat needs to arrive home again. He's busy working, that's how I see it right now. And then when he's done, he comes home, and then we can let him do something again. And there we go. Pause the game. I will marry off Navarra. We will have 3 marriages now. We have a marriage with Aragon, with Portugal, and with Navarra. So we have a 15% chance of getting a new heir if our heir would die. So let's confirm. And we have another opinion boost. We now have 25 of our royal marriage as well. Now, can we vassalize him now? No, because we need to have an alliance, which we do. But we also need an opinion of 190, so we need a lot more opinion. Now, I know for a fact that other nations will try to vassalize Navarra as well, so we need to hurry up. And there are a couple of other things you can do to improve your relation with a nation. Of course, we have the alliance. There's also in the influence tab here, the proclaim a guarantee option. And we are going to click this next month, because we need to wait for a diplomat to come home. So I will unpause the game, make a bit more money, a bit of manpower that we need for later. I'm going to pause the game. I can proclaim a guarantee on Navarra, and this way we will help Navarra if someone will attack him. That's fine. I will confirm, because we are also allied, so. And then we have another plus 10 of the guaranteed bonus. So we have 149, we need 41 more opinion. So we got the alliance, we have the guarantee, we don't have to send a warning, that will make them very unhappy. But we can still improve relations. Until we have 190. We do have a marriage. Now what are these other options here? Oh, that's a big tab here. So you can build spy networks with your diplomats. And you should do this with other nations where you cannot get a claim normally, but we will go over this later in the game, when we cannot use our mission tree to go to war, but we have to claim ourselves. They can do it over here. So covert actions not really needed right now. Economy actions. Hey, we can send a gift to Navarra. Maybe they will like that. Let's, we are going to send a gift to Navarra. We need to wait another month. And then we can we make him very happy. There we go, pause the game. So we will send a gift. How much can I send? So the minimum you can send is 25. We can send in more because we have more than 25, but you can see that the improved relations modifier of 25 is not going higher. Depending on the economy of the target nation, This opinion will go higher. But Navarra is very small, so the first tick will give our maximum improved relations modifier of 25. You cannot get more with a gift. And that's fine. We make 9 ducats a month, so it's 3 months of income. Let's give him a gift. There we go. Now it's at 175. So we are almost there. Now there's another thing we can do. You can give subsidies. But we're not going to do that because there's another thing we can do in the access tab over here. And then we have all the tabs open. You can scroll them with your mouse wheel. We can offer them military access. This will also give them another 10 opinion. So we're going to click this button on the 16th of September. And in the meantime, we will wait and make money and manpower. $12, $13, $14, $15, $16. Pause the game. You always get this pop-up from the Kingdom of Italy and the Empire. It's a Holy Roman Empire event, which we will not go over right now. But this always happens. This is a scripted event. But not, we don't need to know that right now. So I will offer the military access. That will make them like us even more. Now we have 186. And we need 4 more opinion before we can offer vassalization. I think I'm gonna improve relations for the last 4 points. I'm gonna wait until the diplomat is there, and then we will improve relations until we have 190, and then we'll vassalize him. 15, 16, 17. No! Oh, now what happened right now? We are very unlucky. We are really unlucky. The ruler of Aragon died, and our marriage ended. And since they have a new ruler, they are not excommunicated anymore. But they had an event, I think, and now Navarra is in a personal union under Aragon. So we were just too late. So we cannot personal union Navarra anymore. We cannot vassalize Navarra anymore because they are now under Aragon. Oh, that's a pity. We were so close. Look, the opinion suddenly changes when you hover over it. And yeah, we now only have a royal marriage with Navarra. And we cannot offer vassalization anymore. Well, that's a pity. We cannot do anything about it. That's just how the game works sometimes. But at least we tried. Aragon was first. Right click on Aragon again. So the ruler dies, and that also means that your marriage goes away. And we got the pop-up from it, so I'm gonna remarry Aragon again. Remember, we will try to get the event to get a personal union, a PU over Aragon. There we go. They have no heir, so would this King Juan die? He is 48 years old. With no heir, we have a chance to inherit Aragon very early in the game. But normally the game gives an heir to the country. But there is a chance right now, because they have no heir. So we have 51 monies. We are building our troops. They are listed over here. Let's build a couple more troops. We need 4 more to get to our force limit. So let's build 4 more troops. There we go. It's now yellow, and that means that you are on your force limit. Don't go over it. If you go over your force limit, you pay a lot more money. And you want to have your money for other things. So there we go. Our armies will get built. They also listed in your outliner over here. Takes 2 months. Let's let the game run again, make a bit more money. And we need a lot of manpower before we can complete our mission, so we need to remember 60%. We need 60% of our manpower level to complete this mission. So it's gonna take some time. But that's normal in the game. You need to let the game run and prepare for wars. So all our armies are built now. And hey, what is this? We get two things. We have an event from Aragon again. They have an event about Naples. Aragon starts with a PU over Naples in the game. And they did a option here. And they made Naples independent. So if I right click on Aragon now and you check these junior partners, they only have Navarra now as a junior partner, as a PU. Which is very bad for us, because if we were lucky enough, we could integrate Aragon with the event and get Naples with it. That is sometimes possible. But Naples is an independent nation now. He will decide his own path right now. And we will not get Naples when we get the event against over Aragon. So that's really unfortunate. We also have a mission fulfilled. So let's just click on this. What did we complete? Now you can see that this has a shiny thing, so we complete the build to force limit mission. Yeah, that's correct. We built to our force limit. 100%. And what do we get when we complete it? We get a bit more morale, which is good. Remember, morale is important at the start of the game. And our land maintenance modifier is -5%. So keeping up our armies is costing less. So that's a really nice modifier. We get this for 25 years. Yes, I will complete it. Just click on it. And here you can see another summary of what you get. Nice. An extra morale boost against our enemies. That is really nice, right? Now, let's unpause the game to the 1st of January here. We get a message from England. England is claiming our land on Vizcaya. So you can see it over here in the cores and claims. England is claiming our lands with a diplomat. So I wonder what England is trying to do. Are they going to war with me? There's a chance. But normally England will be at war with France at the start of the game, so you don't really have to be worried about it. Let's go to our mission traps again. You can see now that we have 2 check marks. We now have our army at 100% of the force limit. Now we need our navy size at 100% of the force limit. So once again, go to the production interface. And go to your naval units. Here you can see your naval force limit. We have 22. So we need to build 4 more ships. I think I'm gonna build light ships because I like to protect more trade against Portugal. I'm gonna click the bark. And you can only build them at coastal provinces, of course. Let's build a bark in Sevilla. Now these cost 20 each. So we need 60 more gold until we can get to our force limit. So again, we need to let the game run. We should combine our armies as well, because now they are just scattered all around. I think I'm gonna make 2 big armies. Maybe these ones, so drag a box. You select all the armies. Let them move to 1 province. Maybe go to Murcia. Now let's let the game unpause, and then we'll go there by time. You can see that at the arrows as well, they fill up more. And when they go over these gray things, they cannot be you cannot cancel the order anymore. For example, if I wait 1 more day, this 1000 unit is now gray. I cannot tell this unit to stop now. It will first go to here and then go back to Jaén. So you need to be really careful where you send your armies, but we will go over this when we go to war. You can also see it with the movement lock icon over here. This means that the unit can no longer not go to the province. It's now locked. The movement is locked. He will go to the province. I can still make him stop the move if I want to, by right-clicking on this province. But this one is not possible anymore, because it's over the limit. Now you can see that these all having locks. But I did not move them, so what does that mean? This means that their morale is too low to move. Remember that I do not pay that much for my army maintenance, and that means that the morale is very low. But just see what happens to our income when I raise my morale. We now make 5 money, and this way we make 9 money, and that's a big difference. And I want money at the start. We need to build our ships, we need to build buildings later on. So the morale will go up enough to move, but it takes a couple of months. We need to wait for this yellow bar to be fully yellow. There's a bit of red over there. And morale ticks go every month. So next month, maybe we can move our armies over here. So let's see what happens to this morale bar and to this lock. No, they are still locked, but the bar is almost full. So I think next month I can move them. So I'm gonna wait for next month. Pause the game, and yes, the lock is gone. We can now move the armies. I will select all of this and bring them to Sevilla. And you need to go here as well. So left click with a box and right click on the province. And he's locked and he will move here very soon. There we go, pause the game. We have 18,000 troops here, let's select them. And I will merge them in one army. You can click on the merge button or press the G button on your keyboard. And now we have 18,000 troops, 18 regiments in one army. That's totally fine. So in the meantime, we have an event. Let's see, what is this? The Great Bullion Famine. We have to pay in gold to import silk, alum, spices and pearls from the east. As trade between east and west becomes increasingly frequent, the deficit of gold in Europe becomes more apparent. Gold has become an increasingly rare commodity in our world, but the demand for these luxuries has not decreased. If we were to gain access to a source of gold outside Europe, put an end to this bullion famine. You should start searching for gold before others do. So, when we find gold as the first Christian European nation outside of Europe, we get some events. We get a very nice event, I think. So we should start looking for gold. But I will go over the trade goods later on, not in this episode. Now, we are already 27 minutes in, and I promised you guys to talk about the papal stuff in this game and how that works. So there's the papacy button here. Let's click on it. This is the Holy See, and as a Catholic nation, you have to interact with this. Now, what does this mean? This screen. Well, first of all, let's talk about what is over here. These are our active cardinals in the world. We now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cardinals in the world. And we have 1. Castile has 1 cardinal. Later on, there will be a lot more cardinals in the world. And your cardinal can become the Curia controller. So we can become head of the Christian faith, and at the moment, the nation that is the Curia controller right now, at the start of the game, is the Papal State himself. So Rome and the state of the Papal State, you can see it highlighting, is now the control of the Curia. And we can try to become that. Therefore, to become Curia controller, we need Papal influence. Now this is the reason why I was improving with the Pope. Because you can see it in this screen. We have a cardinal, we get a plus 0.5. We have a base value of plus 0.5. And the one papal influence a year is modified by our relation with the Pope. So if you have a very high relation with the Pope, you get more papal influence. And to become the Curia controller, you need to spend your papal influence with this button here. So we need to have 5 papal influence to gain 10 invested influence towards becoming the next papal controller. So we can get 10 points with every click. And the more you click, the more expensive it will become. The first click is always 5 papal influence. The next one is, I think, 10, and then 15, and then 20. So it becomes expensive the more influence you want to spend on this. And at the moment, we see that only England has spent 10 papal influence becoming the next Curia controller. And since England is the only one that has spent any points, he has a 100% chance to become the next Curia controller. When the head of the state dies, and in this case, click on it, it is the Pope Eugenius IV itself. He is 63 years old, so he is getting really old. And there will be a chance that he will die within 10 or 15 years. There's a high chance that that will happen. And the nation that has any chance has a chance to become the Curia controller. And the more chance you have, the higher, the more likely it is that your nation will become the Curia controller. And when you are the Curia controller, you get these bonuses. Your stability cost that you need to pay for your stability goes lower. You get an extra diplomat. You get more yearly prestige. Remember, prestige is very nice to have. Advisors will cost less money. We get 2 extra possible advisors. Our technology cost goes down. We can get an extra leader without paying upkeep. When we conquer land, the aggressive expansion, which we'll talk about later, will be lowered. And the estate clergy, where we'll go over later in maybe the 6th episode, will get an extra loyalty equilibrium. And as the Pope, we are the nation to decide who we can excommunicate, and we can call for a crusade against the Sunni nations, infidels. Now remember, we at some point want to conquer Granada, and Granada is Muslim, and Morocco as well, which we want to conquer later in the game. If we can get a crusade against these nations, then when we go to war with one of these, we get huge bonuses to our income and to our morale of our troops. So we should really try to become the next Curia controller. So we need to spend our points, or papal influence, to get more influence over here in this list. So we have a higher chance to become the next Curia controller. And that's the only thing you need to do if you have no DLCs. If there are DLCs that changed all of this, but first play with this system in the vanilla game. So we have to wait until we have enough papal influence, and then we can click the button. And that is how the papacy works when you're Catholic. And that will also end this episode. Thanks for watching, guys. In the next episode, we will, keep trying to get our armies ready. Our manpower needs to go higher. I think in the next episode I will explain or the Holy Roman Empire or the estates. Let's go to the estates in the next episode. So please don't forget to like the video, and I hope to see you in episode 5, I think. Bye bye, guys.